Hello YouTube. Today we are playing. We are not playing. Today we are doing a top 10. We are doing the top 10 of the most underrated cards in Duel Commander. So yeah. So the idea will be to just go over some like pretty strong card, but which people don't really know they are strong, or like people don't realize at how strong they are. Let's say. Today the stream is in English, so we're gonna do that. After we're gonna play series. Maybe it's gonna be two different videos on YouTube, but yeah. And it's gonna be a test. If there are like only French people in my stream, I'm not gonna do it again, obviously. But if there are like a bunch of non-French speaking people coming, it's gonna be cool. Yeah, hi Mr. Mawe. So yeah. So we're gonna start the top 10 underrated cards recorder by talking about two specific cards. We're gonna talk about Demonic Tutor and Flash. So you're gonna tell me, well, they're not underrated. They're playing in every black deck and in every reanimator deck. And why do you say, yeah, they're still underrated? Why are they underrated? Because they're not banned. And I think like if these cards were rated correctly, they would just be banned. So I think this is like the first like thing to talk about, right? Why are these cards still in the format? Can someone answer me? No one can. Like, and if you think if you think they're fine in the format, you're probably like just underrating them. So yeah, I think this was like the first thing to talk about. So Demonic Tutor Flash probably quite underrated. They shouldn't be legal. But now we're gonna talk about underrated cards which aren't played at all. So first we have like the honorable mentions. So those cards I think aren't quite played as much as they could, but nowadays they kinda are. Like it took a while. So for instance, Tainted Pact wasn't played for years, like literal years, and I was telling people, but why don't you just put a second Demonic Tutor in your deck, right? And they were going like, no, I'd rather have like these 3 basic swamps. I guess 3 basic swamps are cool. But obviously you shouldn't. Like you should just play another Demonic Tutor. But nowadays those cards like are pretty universally played. These 3 cards, Lake of the Dead, Tainted Pact, and Stone of Erech, for a long time weren't played, and now I think they are. So I think they are less underrated now. I think it's fine. They still could be like, you should be play Tainted Pact in every black not mono black obviously, but every black deck which is not mono black should list Tainted Pact. Like, there is very few reasons to not play the cards. Obviously you cannot play it in Ertai and deck which need like 15 or 13 basics, but if you're playing like 4 basics, like maybe just do some work and just cut 2 basics to add Tainted Pact. Stone of Erech nowadays, same, like it's played almost everywhere. If you're playing a slow deck, you should be playing Stone of Erech. There's not really a reason not to. It's very important against Squee, but if you're playing a control deck, you need to handle Skull Clamp, and this is the best card to handle Skull Clamp. You also need to handle Squee, which also works when you Wrath the board. They can't just do their stuff. It's also good against Reanimator, even though it's not great there, it's still okay card. And Lake of the Dead, if you're playing an unfair black deck, you should be listing Lake of the Dead. Okay. Now, Astrolabe and 6, it's a bit different. It's not exactly the same. I think they're still underplayed, but they're not in the top 10 because there are cards more powerful than them. But Arcum Astrolabes in particular, you don't have many decks that can abuse it, but it should be played in way more decks than it is. And 6 is also like very, very strong. And I don't remember if I put it on top. So yeah, 6 is also very strong. I think it's quite underrated as well. I went through hoops to attach it back to my Gris combo deck. Yeah, it's not always easy if you're playing Earthcraft. Earthcraft is a good reason to not be playing Tainted Pact, obviously. But you can make both work. It's really hard, but you can. But maybe you shouldn't. Because Earthcraft is also a reason not to play Tainted Pact. There are reasons not to play Tainted Pact, but... Okay, so here we go for the top 10. So in number 10, we have Mockingbird. I think Mockingbird is quite underrated. It should be in every like creature blue deck, I think. Like if you're playing a creature deck, which includes blue, you probably should just be playing Mockingbird. Mockingbird is very strong. It's It's always the best card in the battlefield. Tainted Pact requires a specific build. No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It makes you believe it requires a specific build. It doesn't. In Duel Commander, playing Tainted Pact is free unless you're playing Earthcraft or some very specific cards which actually requires a specific build. But Tainted Pact in itself doesn't require anything. It requires just you to play lands that cast your spells. So yeah, Mockingbird. Mockingbird, very strong. I think it's like a good number 10. It's very good card. I think it's quite underrated, but it's still on the... let's say, where can we play the Trifolk? In almost every green deck, I guess. So yeah, Mockingbird is coming up. So I think it's gonna be like more and more played as time goes, because like people realized it was not that bad, but it takes a bit sometimes. In number 9, we have Intuition. So Intuition is really hard to... initially, I didn't put it on my top 10. But I talked to Leo yesterday and he told me like, you should really put Intuition because people didn't want to play it in Airties. They still don't want to play it in every deck. Like if you're playing blue, you probably should be listing Intuition. The issue with the card is that it's really, really, really hard to play. When you cast Intuition, when you draw Intuition, it's like a nightmare. When you cast it, it's another nightmare. It's really, really hard. But it probably should be in every like blue deck. It's 3 Demonic Tutors for 1. Obviously, it costs 3 mana instead of 2, which is like quite a downside, obviously. But it's very strong. It's instant speed. So yeah. So Intuition is very, very good. But I was thinking like everyone was already playing Intuition, but actually I checked some MTG top 8 and it's not the case. So yeah. People should be playing Intuition in their blue decks. Coming up, number 8. Number 8, we have Starfield Shepherd. Well played, Baral. Starfield Shepherd, very underrated card, I guess. It allows you to... So, it's not in every deck, obviously. But if you're playing a white creature deck, you probably should be playing Starfield Shepherd. Why? Because first, you're not playing enough lands. And Starfield Shepherd, when you're in mana death, can help you get 1. But most importantly, you're playing Guide of Souls and Ocelot Pride. And those cards are nuts. And Starfield Shepherd can tutor up Ocelot Pride and Guide of Souls, which is a good thing. In some matchups, Mother of Runes or Giver of Runes is really important as well. For instance, against Cloud or stuff like that. Starfield Shepherd also helps with that. The card is just very, very strong. And the floor of the card is pretty high. Like, Maro, thank you for the save. Yeah, thank you, Maro. Thank you. With the Prime, it was free for you. It's Amazon which was paying. Thank you very much. About any form of tutoring is broken in Singleton format. Yeah, it's kind of true. Like, I think there are multiple tutors in this top 10, but not every tutor is equal, right? Like, some of them is Demonic Tutor, some of them is not Demonic Tutor. But Starfield Shepherd, I think, is very cool. I think you should be playing Starfield Shepherd. I think it's, like, very strong. It's a very good card. Again, the cost is very low. Obviously, you don't want to spend 2 mana to get a basic plan, but when you do, it's because like if you didn't have this option, you probably just lost the game. So it's still something very good, and it's like, yeah, a very, very good card. Number 7, Stalactite Stalker. Okay, this one is a bit like, let's say, more controversial, because I know a lot of people who still don't like this card, but this card is very, very strong. I think the idea is like, if you're playing Nethergryph in your deck, you probably should be playing Stalactite Stalker. It's not always true, because Nethergryph works with instant and sorceries as well. But Stalactite Stalker, if you're playing like, let's say, a more aggressive oriented deck, it's very, very cool. Very, very strong. It's a very powerful turn 1. Yeah. So basically, every black aggressive deck should be playing Stalactite Stalker. There are not that many in the format, but there are still some. I think, for instance, Deadpool should be playing Stalactite Stalker. Deadpool should 100% list Stalactite Stalker in their deck, because it's a lot of pressure for very few mana, and even against other creature decks, it's very good because you can still use it as a removal spell. It's a bit clunky, but you can still use it. It's very important to have like creatures that can like double up as removal, and this one does that. And it gets bigger and bigger every turn or every other turn. Like it grows very fast. And if you just have a 2/2 menace for 1 mana, is already very good. Like you don't need to have 2 or 3 counters on it to be like the biggest threat in the world. It only costs you 1 mana. 2 manas for 1, good card. Okay. Number 6. As number 6, obviously it's Vren 6. I don't understand why people don't play this card. I just don't. Like, have you read it? Like, really? Like, every mod is awesome. Like, it's a card advantage engine that allows you like to keep the clunkiest of hands because now you have infinite lands. It also kills Dork. It kills a lot of stuff. Yeah, but you don't need fetch to make it work. Like, it's just very, very, very good. Like, its -1 is also very strong, and its ultimate wins the game. Like, there's just too much on this card. And it's a Planeswalker, which comes with 4 loyalty for 2 mana. In which deck would you play Vren 6? Every red-green deck, basically. Like, I would be playing Vren 6. Yeah, Squee, I don't know why Squee players aren't playing Vren 6. They're like the clunkiest of decks. They want to cast like 4 and 5 mana spells, and they're greedy on their mana bases, and they're not playing Vren 6, and I don't understand. Hello, Duel. So far, I mainly think that those cards aren't played because there is no good general. No, there are good general for Vren 6. Like I said, like Squee is one of the best shell for Vren 6. Like, you don't need to be playing Roxanne to play Vren 6. If you're playing Control, you also want to play Vren 6. This is one of the, like, remember when I told you, like, there is a Tracios Control deck running around, and you can play black with it because Demonic Tutor is completely broken, or you can play red with it because Forcer Lingas is a good finisher, and usually with Control decks, you need a finisher. And the idea is, like, if you're playing red, you basically gain 3 cards. You're gaining Forcer Lingas to finish game, Flash to have a very good plan against aggressive deck, and Vren 6 to be good against everyone. Finally some English content, yeah. Yeah, welcome, Doyle. So yeah, so Vren 6, I think it's very, very strong. It's obviously number 6. I couldn't put it anywhere else on the top 10, but it's like way better than people. Also, it's normal that you're watching this top 10 and you're like, no, that's not true. Obviously, those cards are underrated. Like, I'm not saying these are the top 10 best cards in the format. I'm telling you those are the top 10 underrated cards in the format. When do you want to play it in Squee? The goal is turn to Squee. Yeah, but sometimes they kill your Dork. This is why in Squee you have a bunch of 2-drops. Because sometimes you go 1-drop, like let's say 1-drop, like turn 1 Birds of Paradise, and they go, okay, I'm going to Fatal Push your Birds of Paradise. And now you're like, okay, I'm not playing anything. No, you're playing your 2-drops. And it's also infinite cards. Like, you don't need to play it on curve. It's not a 2-drops that you need to play on turn 2. It's a 2-drops you need to play when you don't have a land in hand. Yeah, it's just good at any time. And imagine you're in a mirror of Squee and you have the play, and your turn 1 is Dork and your opponent is going to play a Dork, and your turn 2 is Vren 6, kill your Dork, and you play another Dork. And now you're going to untap with 5 mana and your opponent is on 2. Yeah, infinite lands is very, very strong. Very, very, very good. So yeah, Vren 6 very strong, but obviously people aren't like I said, this top 10 is a top 10 of underrated cards, not top 10 cards of the format. This is why you're like, you're there thinking this card is bad. That's the point of the underrated cards. If everyone in my chat were saying, oh yeah, this card is the best card in the format, it wouldn't be a top 10 underrated card, right? So number 5, Demonic Consultation. This one is a bit weird, right? No one wants to cast it, but when you cast it, you usually win the game. Unfortunately, you're also losing like 10% of the time on spot. But yeah, Demonic Consultation. I think this card is very, very underplayed. I think you could be, if you're playing, let's say, an A plus B combo, you probably should be playing Demonic Consultation. I played it in Amina 2 a while back, in Reanima 2. And it was like best card in my deck. Every time I got it in my opening hand, I knew in 9 out of 10 cases I will just win the game. Obviously, sometimes you just lose. The card has a downside. It's not Demonic Tutor, but it's still very, very strong. 1 mana, instant speed, tutor up whatever you want. It's very, very strong. So I think it's pretty underrated. I think, for instance, you could be playing it in Jury, you could be playing it in Grist, you could be playing it in like all those kind of decks which don't need, like, you cannot play it in Nadu decks, because if you exile what you need on the way to Nadu, you have a problem. You cannot play it in like Broodlord decks, which is the main place where you would like to play it. Hard and dangerous to use it. Yeah, but if you're like, it's not hard and dangerous to use it if you really consider the cost and the upsides. It looks dangerous. It certainly looks like it. But if hitting what you want means you win the game, you should be casting it, because it means you have 90% chance of winning, which is really high, even though you have 10% chance of losing yourself. Demonic Consultation plus approach as the Sea Godson is perfectly safe. Yeah, this is an example where it's perfectly safe, but also where it's perfectly bad. With Glarb, yeah, obviously if you're playing Jace, it's obviously easy to play, but even without Jace, it's just a very, very good card. You should be playing it. You should be playing it in... Again, you cannot play it with Broodlord, because if you name Broodlord or Unmargrave, like obviously if you're naming Unmargrave, you have a problem. If you're naming Broodlord and you're exiling your Soinalf, or like you have too many pieces that you cannot exile on the way, which is why it's not played in this deck. But if you're playing A plus B combo, it's really easy. You draw your combo piece A, you name your combo piece B, you win the game. So I think it's very underrated. I think it should be played in way more decks than it is. Coming up, number 4, Molten Collapse. So I guess, I think if you're playing black-red, you should be playing Molten Collapse in your deck. If you're playing a black deck, in a black-red deck, a bit mid-rangey, a bit aggressive, or whatever, you should be playing Molten Collapse. It's very strong in Reanimator. Hello, Ben. It's very strong in Reanimator. It's very strong in every black-red deck. It's removal for any creature or planeswalker, which is already good. It also double up as destroy target Clamp, destroy target Spellbomb, destroy target Soulgate Lantern, destroy target Stone of Erech. It's very obviously it's very strong against Cloud, because you're killing a creature and a Clamp, but it's very good against everyone. If Asmo becomes popular, it's even better. It's like the best card you could have against Asmo. It's even better than against Cloud, because the first cookbook doesn't do much, the first trigger of the cookbook, while the first Clamp trigger does a lot. But if you're playing against Asmo and they go like Asmo, cookbook, and you take your turn and you're saying, I'm killing your best creature, I'm killing your cookbook, like the game is just game over. Like it's just very, very strong. It's one of the best removal in the format. Obviously it costs 2, which is the downside, but I think it's way better than Abrupt Decay right now, for instance. And Abrupt Decay is more played like than Molten Collapse. But Molten Collapse is... I think it's very, very strong. I think it should see more play than it is. Number 3, who want to bait? We're coming on the top 3. Who want to bait on the top 3? I'm listening. Who want to see the third? Give us some clues. It's a green card. If I remember correctly, the order in which I put second and third. Clues. It's a green card. Green card is pretty nice, right? Springleaf Drum Wesh. It's not green. It's not green. It needs to be green. Okay, you're too good. It's Once Upon a Time. Number 3, Once Upon a Time. Now, Etilus Roots is not underrated, I think. It was, in fact, Once Upon a Time. I don't understand either why people aren't playing Once Upon a Time. I just don't. I don't get it. Like, in a format where everything is about tempo and everything is about the first few turns, why aren't you playing your free impulse turn 1? Like, I don't understand. It allows you to play less lands. It allows you to play less... Like, it's a dork when you need a dork. It's a land when you need a land. It's like a turn 2 when you need a turn 2. It's just so good. Barral is way too good at this game. Barral is way too good. Barral should be muted until the end of the game. But yeah, Once Upon a Time is just way too good for the little play it is. And really, like, if you're playing Mana Dorks, you should be playing Once Upon a Time. This is the condition. You're playing Mana Dorks in your deck, yes, play Once Upon a Time. Easy. Like, there are no more thinking to have, like, Because the downside, so obviously Once Upon a Time is great early on and it's bad late game. And it's good, no, pardon, excuse me. It's very good turn 1 and it's very strong late game. Because late game you're very happy to draw like an impulse. Like it's very good. The time where it's not good, it's like turn 2 to turn 3, let's say. But if you're playing Mana Dorks, it's not even that bad. Because you have Dorks to cast it, so it's quite okay. And again, turn 2 to turn 3 or turn 4, you have a bunch of other cards in your hand, usually, that you can cast. And then reach the late game where you can cast your Once Upon a Time. So I just don't get it. I just don't. Like, the card is... The upside of casting it for free is way, way too high. Or some form of fast mana. Yeah, but usually you want it with Dorks. Because the main goal of Once Upon a Time is finding your Dorks. You're finding your lands, or either lands or Dorks, what you're missing from your opening hand. And it makes, like, if you're playing Squee and you're playing Once Upon a Time, when you have Once Upon a Time in your hand, almost any hand is a keep. Which is very strong to have this, like Lake of the Dead or City of Traitors. It's a bit... No, because you want it to be good also late game. So if your threats aren't creatures, you cannot play it. You need... Or lands. But you need... Like, if what you're looking at, it's... what I don't understand why they don't play it in Azusa. It's often played in Azusa. Azusa usually plays Once Upon a Time. But yeah. But you need your threat... Like, you need your top end to be creatures. Or lands. But if your top end are like animate deads and stuff like that, you cannot get them with Once Upon a Time. So when you cast Once Upon a Time late game, it needs to be good late game as well. And it wouldn't be the case if what you need to hit is like non-creature spell. Okay. Coming number 2, Barrel is way too strong. It's Malevolent Tremble. Malevolent Tremble, I don't understand either why. Okay, this one, every green deck which uses permanent should play. You don't need Dorks for this one. You just need permanent. You're playing creatures, you should be playing Malevolent Tremble. You're playing a land deck, you should be playing Malevolent Tremble. You're playing Planeswalkers, Tribal, you should be playing Malevolent Tremble. You just should be playing Malevolent Tremble in basically every green deck. It's not completely true, like I wouldn't be playing Malevolent Tremble in Atraxa, but I think it should be like, it's maybe one of the few cases where I don't want to. Like, this card is way too strong. I'm not sure if I should put it in top 10 underrated because it's been a year since I like tell everyone this card is very strong, and I think nowadays people are starting to listen, but it's not perfect yet. But I still think like nowadays people are like understanding that it is in fact very, very strong, and like there are few people telling me, but I don't understand. It's just 1 mana, mill 4, and pick your best card on the 4. Like, why would you pick it? Would you play it? Yeah, I don't think if it's still underrated, but it was for a long, long time. And I think it's still quite underrated because I still have some comments about playing Malevolent Tremble. So, you know. Yeah, it's played in Azusa for sure. But it should be playing in every green deck, so. Okay. Number 1. It's a red card. I'm listening. Red card at number 1. It's not Ragavan because it's banned. Sorry about that. So number 1. Okay, you're very good. It's in fact Gamble. Magus. Nah, Magus, I don't think it's underrated. Yeah, it's Gamble. If you're playing red, play Gamble. If you're playing red and not counterspell, you know, like Once Upon a Time as a condition, you should be playing dark. This one, the condition is not playing counterspell. If you're playing red and no counterspell, play Gamble. Easy. It's way, way too easy. Like, the card... So, in the past, the card had, like, some downside, right? Like, first downside, it was, like, unfortunately, sometimes... you have it in your opening hand, it's great. You have it late game, it's bad. But now, even late game, it's so good. Yeah, there is Phoenix, there is Croxa, there is Flash, there is like a bunch of stuff you're happy to just Entomb. Entomb late game now is so strong. Like you're very happy to cast an Entomb. So I think Gamble is just way too good for the... I'll look you all the week. Gamble on Demonic Consultation. Yeah, you could gamble on Demonic Consultation. You could. It's weird to do that because you could you could also just gamble into what you want, but sometimes you have a Jace out and you gamble on Demonic Consultation. Why not? A real gamble for once. Yeah, gamble is just so strong. Like it's just very, very strong in the format. And whenever I see like there are still a bunch of red decks not playing gamble, I just don't get it. Like just play the card. It's a Demonic Tutor for 1 mana. And yeah, the downside, you're losing a card. How many games do you end with no cards in hand? Like how many? Not many. Not a lot. So it's definitely a must in Reanimator. Yeah, the only downside with the cards is that you cannot play it with counter spells. Because with counter spells, you don't want to play your hand fast. You want to keep cards in hand. So obviously Gamble becomes worse because actually, like I said, Gamble is very good when you have 7 cards or when it is an Entomb. And so if you have counter spell and you stay at 3 or 4 cards, really Gamble in Yoshi? Yeah, really Gamble in Yoshi. Yoshi should be playing Gamble. And if you're not playing Gamble in Yoshi, I think this is a mistake. Gamble is awesome in Yoshi. You can tutor up Flash or Detective Phoenix. Like, Detective Phoenix is so good and Flash is so good. Did you notice that at least the top 4 of your underrated are playable in Squid, but most of it doesn't play in your deck? Imagine if they were to. Imagine if they were like in Squid. Like I remember having a stream where people were telling me, "Why are you playing Gamble in Squid? It makes no sense." And like you're playing Squid, and every time I drew Gamble, I was like, "Oh, nice! I just drew a Demonic Tutor," and they were saying, what are you telling? And I was like, I'm attacking with Squee, my opponent is blocking, now I gamble of Fury, I reanimate Squee with Fury. Like, what do you want? Like, if you have a sack outlet, it's literally, like, Entomb is very good in Squee. And Detective Phoenix is also very good in Squee. So yeah, you should be playing Gamble. So yeah, Gamble should be played in like every red non-counterspell deck. If you have counterspell, again, it's a bit hard because you cannot empty your hand, so Gamble becomes worse. And also, for Detective Phoenix and Flash to work, you need your graveyard to be filled, and counterspell decks tend to fill it a bit slower than non-counterspell deck because obviously Entomb is kind of good, I guess. Definitely underrated. Yeah, this one is definitely underrated. I think this is the most underrated in the format. Like I think it's not the most because I have a rank 0, but yeah, tier 0 of the most underrated cards. Okay, the 41st land. Like, come on, guys, you can play lands in your deck. You know you can. The 42nd is also underrated. The 43rd is also underrated. And all those, yeah, they're all underrated. But I think the 41st is very, very underrated. Play 41 or 40. I even, for a moment, I was going to say the 40th land, but I think maybe nowadays people play 40 lands. But yeah, just play lands in your decks. Like, just don't. Like just don't mana death in Commander. Like, it sucks to mana death. Anyway, yeah, Baral, you're way too strong at this game. Baral, next time we do a top 10, you cannot talk. That's like, that's the downside. It's a game you don't want to win. But yeah. So, alright. Here we are. 43 lands, it's such a hipster talk. No. So yeah, so just a quick view from far away. So Mockingbird, Intuition, Starfield Shepherd, Stalactite Stalker, Vren 6, Consultation, Molten Collapse, Once Upon a Time, Malevolent Rumble, Gamble, 41st lands. But my Tainted Pact mana base. I don't understand why some people play Commander CMC of 4 but only 37. Yeah, because they just didn't the math. Like, they just didn't. But my Tainted Pact mana base, I don't see the point. You can play Tainted Pact with 50 lands. Like, it's not like we have a bunch of lands which you can add to your deck if you want. All right, this was it. I'm not taking a screenshot at this one, I think, because like it's gonna take me so much time because I can't take in one time. But yeah, you can see all the cards. Everyone is fine on it. So I'm gonna end the YouTube video, but I'm gonna keep the stream. So thank you everyone on YouTube, and I see you in the next video where I'm gonna play Suri's the White, which is White Nadu. See you.